So, start off fairly easy. What's your favorite color?
Blue,
Blue.
like indigo specifically.
Indigo blue? Alright. Why specifically indigo?
I always liked it because I have indigo eyes.
Huh. Crazy. Alright. Let's see here. Do you have any favorite music?
I just got into this real cool band called Mars Volta. If you've ever heard of them.
Yeah, I've heard Mars Volta. You like Mars Volta a lot?
Yeah. But
Like the Infinite Jam sessions?
yes.
Oh, yeah?
Then Portugal the Man.
Alright.
I love his lyricism.
I can dig that. You say you play guitar. What got you into playing guitar?
Guitar Hero, actually.
I can understand that. That's
I was playing the expert level of 1 by Metallica, and I just couldn't get the solo. And I'm like, man, I bet it's easier on real guitar. And I learned it, and then after that, I was just like, I'm just gonna play real guitar.
Yeah,
and
for real.
that was about 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's how it was for me. That's how I started playing guitar too.
It wasn't until about sophomore year of high school that I realized I want to do that for the rest of my life.
Play guitar?
Yeah, I just fell in love with it one day.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. All right. Do you have any other hobbies beside guitar?
I brew my own beer, and it is the most delicious thing ever when you do it yourself.
I believe that. Well, not always. I had a friend who brewed his own beer, and he had like too much sugar to it. It didn't work out very well.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that. I'm very specific. But I also like to garden.
All right. Is that your garden?
This is my father and I's. I mostly grow wheatgrass. We also have angel's trumpet, morning glories, psychotrius viridis, many popular plants.
Yeah. You ever ate the seeds from the angel's trumpet?
Never did the seeds. I've only done the flower. And
Don't eat them. Don't try it. Look
Yeah.
it up before you do
Yeah,
it. And I wouldn't recommend it.
yeah, like I didn't even want to do it, but I was like, I feel like it's about time to experience it. You know, gotta try it once.
All right. How was it?
Horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but with the seeds, like a month.
Haha. Oh my.
Yeah. For real, dude. I've heard some horror stories. Like I've read some bad stories off of from drug experiences, but like the seed from that plant are supposed to be some of the most fucking dangerous things you can take on Earth.
Because I like to practice shamanism a lot, so like I always study deep into anything I've ever right before I take it.
Yeah. Definitely. I think in South America it's called Toei. The E, the hyphenation on top. But yeah.
Yeah.
Take it down there. You practice shamanism. Describe that to me.
Like I grow mushrooms
Right
to be
on.
specific, and it's pretty nice. I just go into it with a very deep spiritual mindset, dedicate a whole, day to it, make it very ritualistic.
How often do you take mushrooms?
I try not to do it often. Like maybe my dream would do it like twice a year, like pick a solstice or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, do it on both of them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Other than that, I also write poetry. I just started, hasn't even been a full year, but I've been speaking for about 10 months now. Got into it surprisingly quick.
Cool. What got you into poetry?
I broke my leg,
Right.
so I have, I was doing so much. I was only getting like 3 hours of sleep. It was a crazy time.
Yeah.
But imagine from doing so much all day, every day, to doing absolutely nothing. Like, you have so much excess energy, I figure might as well pick up different mediums.
Yeah, for sure.
And people seem to like it. I'm surprised.
No, it wasn't too bad when I lived. I liked it.
Thank you.
So, to go back to the shamanism thing, I've seen and I've read several different interpretations of shamanism. What do you personally worship as a shamanistic follower?
Worship in what sense? It's a very weird word.
Well, what would you call your god? And I mean, I'm using what word I can. I'm grasping at straws here, but like, what would you say you call your god?
It's kind of paradoxical in nature. Because when you think about if he's infinite, then the very act of defining it with uninfinite words condemns it to something it's not. So, like, I guess I study many religions and try and incorporate the central themes of it. Like, first thing that comes to mind is Hinduism and, like, the eternal Om. That would probably be the closest I could describe it, because it's always going nonstop forever, and it's always susceptible to change.
All right. Well, that seems like a good way to look at it.
Yeah, like, the hard part is, like, imagine trying to incorporate multiple bubbles within one larger bubble in a sort of fractal manner.
I can understand that. There's this one belief. It's called Gnosticism. You know what that is?
Yeah, isn't that like one of the first religions about
Yeah,
women?
basically.
Oh my God, I love that one. I think I read a story about.
You should look into that, because it sounds a lot like what you're going for.
Well, I do love women, so I could attest to that. Like, but from what I heard about Gnosticism, it was like the men were in charge, patriarchal society, and then one day, the women fell down and started channeling, and they found out that women were better at channeling than men, like more naturally psychic.
Right.
And so they started idolizing it. But the story goes is that eventually one of them, like the very original one, misstrued her power and they overthrew her. But for that short period of time, like the whole world knew peace or something, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
It's interesting. I won't go into too much here, because I know I'll start talking a bunch. But if you want to talk about it in a minute, we'll talk about it.
Oh, do you think?
Yeah, I recommend looking into it. Well, on the conversation about drugs, what's your favorite drug?
I still have to say mushrooms. While I'm growing ayahuasca, I've yet to take it because.
Wait, hey, you can grow that here in this climate?
Yeah.
I know. I'm sure mimosa can grow here. Is that what you're growing? Mimosa?
No.
Wait.
It's Psychotria verdis. I mentioned it earlier,
Right.
but it's related to the coffee bean, actually.
Well, that's one half of it.
Yeah. But you can just take like harmaline seeds or just any basic MAO inhibitor to induce it.
All right. Passion flower has MAOIs in it.
So does I think St. John's wort.
Does it really?
Yeah, it's a mild one.
It'd be real mild. I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I've never heard that one though.
It does, but it's not enough to co-align with that shit.
Actually, I could believe that, because I've heard St. John's wort has really bad drug interactions. So I could believe it has MAOIs in it, because MAOI is like always the thing. Like, if you take MAOIs, don't take all this shit.
Yeah, you can't eat like cheese or wine or.
Yeah, it fucks up your stomach, your enzymes.
But I also make a health pill.
A health pill.
Made out of baby Hawaiian woodrose seeds, and it has been.
Just grind them over. Do you get like an extract?
Yeah, I would, but I'd rather just take the seeds. You know what I mean? Like, it's already like nature's candy practically. The only thing is that while it is healthy, it's like a light hit of acid.
Yeah, it's got LSA in it, right?
But we don't know how it is for women because we haven't tested that. But the only side effect is you may get stomach cramping.
Yeah, I've taken morning glory seeds before.
Yeah, it's like that, but
overdose.
you don't have to take so much, because if they that, like what, 25 grams.
Yeah, you take. Cool passions there. Very cool. You have any favorite books?
I always ask this question, and it's let's say you just built a secret lab door. What book do you pull off the shelf to open your laboratory door?
All right.
And I just read Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace.
No shit, I just finished it too.
No fucking way.
Yeah, a few months ago.
That was a pretty good one.
Yeah. I liked it a lot. Is that your favorite book?
For now, yes. Because I only recently got into fiction.
Alright.
I've always been a nonfiction kind of guy for the longest.
All right. Well, then, what's your favorite nonfiction book?
I don't know. Well, the first one that comes to mind is that I really connected with was Plant Spirit Shamanism. It's all about the latest studies of how like they found plants are able to sense our intentions and read our emotions, and you can actually give and receive love back and forth. They found this through a modified Geiger. No, wait, I'm thinking of Oregon. It was a lie detector test.
All right.
Yeah, and that's how they found they had emotions. So he kept sending love, and they would monitor it as love on the lie detector test.
Yeah.
And so he decided to go to the other side of the world, to Japan, for this meeting, and he had his assistant monitor it, and he sent it love, and it still received it all across the entire world instantaneously.
All right.
Yeah, and I thought that was a very interesting study.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, as a gardener, and as a person whose favorite nonfiction book has to do with plant empathy, what's your favorite plant?
That's a tough one. I actually
Is it a
totally
spirit
love
plant?
that one. But I would say rosemary. I'm growing this rosemary plant out front.
Yeah.
And I've always been connected to it, I feel.
All right.
I don't know why.
All right.
Just like it.
Right on. Let's see here. Let's see.
So, I know all 7 of my spirit animals.
Oh yeah?
'Cause they say you get 7 on a totem pole.
Really?
Yeah, like you have like 7 main ones, and then you still learn from others, but those are like their main.
Oh, what are they?
Dragon, snake, butterfly, eagle, or phoenix. I forget. I mean, because they're like interchangeable.
All right.
Frog, spider, and a lion.
How'd you figure these out?
They say if you have 3 occurrences of them, they don't have to be in order, but sometimes, they are. Like, I had dreams about spider, then the next day I had an incident with a spider, and then the next day I had an incident with a spider. All very consecutive. And it stuck out to me. So I looked into it, and the symbolism connects well, how I'm supposed to be more patient and whatnot. I also have dreams of like lions. I've dreamt of lions 3 times, dragons, butterflies, and also psychics. Like they'll say, "Yeah, all I see is butterfly."
Alright. Very interesting. So which one's at the top of the totem pole, or number 1? No, you want to say it?
But I don't know if you go by like order. Like I know each one has direction.
Spider, the first one you noticed?
The way I described it was just because I try to assign 1 to each chakra.
Alright.
Yeah, but first time I ever saw my spirit animal, it was a giant dragon. I saw it on salvia, so I've also hallucinated it.
It'll do that.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I'm not a big fan of salvia personally.
Yeah, every time I do it, I think, man, why do I do this? I don't like this.
I thought that the first time I did, I'm like, I'm never doing that again. The second time I did, I was like, all right, I'll try it, just see if it does the same thing. And then I took it, I was like, fuck, I'm never doing this again.
Exactly, right? Like, as soon as we take it, we're like, oh!
This is why I don't like it. Yeah, it's like getting hit in the head with a bat of hallucinations. It's just too much real fast.
Yeah, I heard it's like DMT's like cousin. Like one's like more dopamine, one is more serotonin.
Interesting. I can see that. I know salvia is the most powerful hallucinogen that naturally occurs.
Yeah.
What's that pipe?
Hmm?
That white PVC pipe? Is that anything? Or just there?
It's connected to something like you have like a little place where water's leaking inside, so it just drips down. And the funniest part is that it drips really cold water, so all the birds go and drink like refrigerated water.
Oh, is it from like your AC or some shit?
Yeah, it just like crashed out on us.
A little bit of that. Huh. All right. Do you have any favorite movies?
I feel like I do.
You can do the top 5 and then to be like, oh, I like this one more than anything else. And how you do how you want to do it.
Can't think of anything really at the top of my head. I guess Holy Mountain. I like that one.
Shit.
Yeah.
I made it through like half of that movie.
Yeah.
It's quite a movie. All right. Let's think here.
Oh, Mr. Nobody.
Mr. Nobody?
Yeah, have you seen that?
I saw that for the first time like 2 weeks ago.
Hell yeah.
Nice. So, a quick question. You live over here. You're like right next to all these chemical plants, right?
Yeah, born and raised.
You never worried about that or anything?
I just accept it. Every time I hear that shit blowing, I'm like, I'm probably gonna die. And you know, it's a thing. We have the worst air in America. We beat out Los
Pasadena?
Angeles.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and no, Houston, because of Pasadena.
Yeah.
We're like,
dude,
because
can
we were tagged on. We were like a wart, you know. So.
Yeah, you can smell when you enter Pasadena.
Yeah, once you hit in 610, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, what's that smell? Fuck.
It's just my surroundings.
Smells like ass in this area. Oh yeah. All right. If you can go on a vacation anywhere on Earth, where would you go?
Right now?
Yeah, just like your dream vacation.
First thought is California, if not like Peru. Or I might go to Europe someplace. Like maybe Portugal. Or yeah.
Portugal?
Yeah, or Amsterdam. Someplace.
Got a pretty broad list there, huh? What part of California would you go to?
Actually, Mount Shasta in Utah.
Mount Shasta in Utah?
Wait, no, Mount Shasta. Utah's a different one, I think. Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, like, I heard it's a pretty cool place.
Alright.
Or we go to, like, Sri Lanka or something.
That'd be cool.
Are they, like, at war right now? I don't know. Damn it.
I don't think so. But no, I think they just had an earthquake recently that really destroyed Nepal. Let's see here. Do you have any favorite visual artists?
I guess is it Alex Gray?
Probably. I'm pretty sure that's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Although I do like the local art.
Local art? You have a favorite local artist?
Devin Bourne.
How do you spell that?
Deavon.
D-E-V-A. Wait.
D-E-A.
D-A-V-O-N?
Yeah.
How do you spell born?
Born, like you were just born.
Alright. Is it like graffiti artist or a painter? Just...
She's a painter.
Alright.
Yeah, I just recently bought one of her pieces.
Cool. Excellent. Interesting. Very interesting. Do you like things, art in general, that's symmetrical?
Less symmetrical.
Do you like if it's symmetrical or less symmetrical?
Like rounder? Would that be?
No, like
Or
if it's just like a mirror image, like left and right mirror image.
Symmetry's alright, I guess.
Not
D-
terribly important.
Huh?
It's not terribly important.
Depends on what you're using it for. Like, because I'm a musician, I think of things like, whenever you say symmetry, I just think of like an octave or something.
All right.
So like, I would use symmetry in it, but not like, to be contextual, I guess.
What is your greatest fear?
Honestly, I have this weird thing about fears where like, I feel like inevitably we will always manifest our fears. So I'm afraid that I'm always right and that I will become too powerful.
You're always right and you'll become too powerful.
Yeah, because then the worst thing that could happen is that they'll come true.
So the question is, what's your secondary fear? What are you worried will manifest itself should you become as powerful as you think you will become?
That I probably will hurt someone, or like, because how that actually arose is my first experience with channeling.
Mm-hmm.
My girlfriend at the time and I were on mushrooms, and my spiritual energy overtook her, and so I was channeling through her in this weird triangle. And yeah, it was and I learned a lot. We talked but afterwards I felt just weird about it. Like, it's not good to have such power to overtake. But they do say it's one thing, like if you're gonna be a healer, you have to get used to it or whatever. But I don't know.
Spiritual healer?
Yeah, like Reiki and whatnot.
Alright, yeah. Okay.
But that's just a side hobby.
How will you know when you're too powerful as opposed to just powerful enough?
Well, the whole thing about fear is that it's irrational, so it doesn't really make sense. So I'll probably spend the rest of my life, trying to prepare myself for this power that I may or may never get. So kind of like, I'm also afraid I'm always going to be right. So I study all the time to ensure correct beliefs. You know what I mean? And and hope that I'm wrong somewhere. You know what I mean?
Interesting. So you study to ensure that you will be wrong?
No, to see if I am wrong.
Okay.
Because, what if I'm not? That would totally suck.
That's one way to look at it. Socrates believed the more you know, the less you know. The
more you know, the less you know?
Yeah.
Depends on context. Like,
No,
I like fractal theory. Love it. Like, the idea of, you know what fractal is?
Yeah.
So, like, one idea has the image of the whole. So if we say something like dog, it pulls up the fractal in our mind of the information we have for dog based off of everything we've studied and learned, memories, all in one word, and that word is
dog.
Yeah.
You ever read any Wittgenstein or Heidegger?
Like Wiccan?
No, they're philosophers from the early 20th century.
Haydn? No.
Heidegger.
I've read like Descartes and Plato.
It's along those lines. Wittgenstein, he believed that we can never properly philosophize because we're using words.
Yeah.
And you cannot capture a philosophy in words, basically.
That's what Thomas Jefferson believed too, like the founding fathers. That's why they were like, we don't want to put down doctrines because it's still growing. Like, to do that is to literally kill it.
Right.
And Osho says that a lot.
Yeah.
He's a famous monk, what have you. He just talks. Osho Radio, Osho Buddhist Library. But yeah, he believes the same thing. Like, or he spoke of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wittgenstein wrote a book called The Red Book. It's pretty short. I'd recommend it. I mean, it's pretty dense. He's a smart motherfucker. But he's probably one of the most revered philosophers of the 20th century because he impacted in such a broad and obscure and like oblique way. Like there's the way philosophy is traveling, and he's like, bam, just knocked it off his tracks. But then there's Heidegger. He talked about similar things, but he was also a Nazi. So if you have any ethical issues with that one, recommend it. He was the philosopher of the Third Reich. He was supposed to be.
Man, I just met someone the other day. He was like, "Yeah, I believe Hitler was right. Blonde hair, blue eye guy." And it was a Mexican dude. I was like, "What the fuck?"
I've met a Mexican dude like that too. Actually, it's the weirdest thing. He's like, "Yeah, white people are just like the best looking people." I'm like, why are you telling me this? Like,
yeah, like,
dude, have some
like,
self-confidence. Jeez.
Feel bad enough about my white privilege. Damn.
That was the weirdest thing. He's really strange though. I'll tell you a story about him in a little bit. Let's see here. Do you prefer realistic art or abstract art? Define those how you will.
Abstract, according to my art appreciation class, was things not based off any solid ideas. So
Are you going off the
like,
art history definitions?
yeah.
Sure.
So surrealism is an exaggeration of, real life. So I guess I would prefer that.
Is surrealism your favorite school of painting?
Yeah, I suppose I like surrealism.
All right. Don't only force you into that. Do you have a favorite school of painting?
I also do like realism, but it depends on. The first one that comes to mind is Rene Magritte,
Magritte?
if you've heard of him.
I have heard of him.
He has this one called The Origin of Language. And what it is this beautiful rock that leads up to the ocean and just this perfect cloud in the sky, because you love drawing clouds.
Yeah.
And I wrote a whole essay on it about how I feel it was meant to represent how you see something so beautiful that you have to invent words in order to attempt to express it.
That's probably a really good interpretation.
Thank you.
No problem. That's actually, I've heard interpretation of Magritte's work. It's very poetic stuff. So yeah, that's probably a really good interpretation of it, I think.
Makes me think of in sociology they have this branch of epistemology that I just read this that some feel that if you don't know of a word's existence, you literally cannot think it. And I made 2 words this year, so I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I mean, where do words come from in general? If that's
Yeah,
true.
like literally in the flow of the moment. Like I believe heavily of ghost words, if you've ever heard of it. It's kind of like, have you ever, someone asks you a question and you respond with a word that you're not sure of the exact definition, but the context, it felt like it was appropriate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then like if you actually look into it, like I found that most times not only did it fit perfectly, that was the exact, perfect way to express myself. And it's very interesting. So from that, I've made 2 words, which were placebic and introspectacles.
It sort of just sounds like you're just throwing words together there, no offense. But I mean, that's invention. That's part of invention.
Yeah, like creativity is just taking something and then adding more, and then you can repatent it. Because placebic is related to.
It sounds like placebo.
Yeah, it's related to it. But it's like no.
Huh.
It's just, but placebo effect is a noun, while placebic is an adjective.
All right.
So it's attributing the qualities of placebo to certain things.
Yeah.
Like the placebic air of Pasadena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a placebo?
I don't know.
Placebo.
Maybe if it was mountain air.
Just keep telling yourself it's mountain air. It's a placebo. Fresh. What's that smell? I smell a hint of exhaust fumes of some sort.
Yeah. It's like some weird diesel. Like if diesel could take a piss, that would be the weird nitrogen smell of it.
It sort of wafts by every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is, or is there?
I'm not sure. I know over there they make plastics because none of these are nuclear or power plants. They're all just chemical plants,
Yeah, they're
So it's-
refineries and such.
mostly for plastics.
All right. Interesting. Very
Yeah.
interesting. All right. Do you identify better with your mother or your father?
I had to say my dad.
Your dad?
Like, my mom is, a hardcore Christian in a sense, and my dad's more open to different spiritualities.
All right. And is that like contingent? Like your liking your parents a contingent on that sort of spiritualism or like open-mindedness?
Yeah, like a mindset. Like, for instance, like, there's two types of people. Like, I remember growing up, and one would chastise you for getting an F, while the other would praise you for getting an A. You know what I mean? Like, so, of course, I'm going to prefer the nicer.
All right, then who do you think you take after more?
Definitely my dad.
All right. Just wanted to clarify just to make sure. Um, let's see here. You have the house of your dreams, right?
Mhm.
Hang the. You can build a room for this painting. Where would you hang it?
Explain the context. Like, so a whole room for this painting? Or
You could if you want. You could put this painting anywhere in this house you want. This could be, like I said, it's the house of your dreams. If you wanted to, you could build a room for this painting. You could build a wing for this painting. House of your dreams. Where would you put the painting?
well, if it's my dream house, I would actually put it, for such a revered painting, I would make it a little tea house. Because I studied into, like, Japanese tea culture, and I think it's cool as fuck. Like, they believe that, like, energies portray this, like, any photo or statue has its own energy from whoever made it. So they always keep tea houses totally clean, except for one special piece that means a bunch to the owner, and that's all that's in there.
Huh. All right. What got you into Japanese tea culture?
Just, studying away. I was studying all about Buddhism, which led to Shintoism and Taoism and Confucianism, blah, blah, blah.
Alright.
And I like it because no matter who you are, even if you're the emperor, you all have to kneel and go in with grace on your knees to enter. I like the symbolism of it.
Yeah. Well, the human mind works in symbols.
Yeah, like, I just studied this whole book on symbols, signs, and dream interpretation.
Right on.
Very interesting.
It wasn't by Freud, was it?
No, but again,
Alright.
it's modern, so it references,
Yeah.
like, it's nice because it wasn't very thick in its descriptions, but it was broad. So, like, something is basically like, oh, here's an ox, and this is what this culture feels, this culture, this culture. So I learned so much about different cultures, but it wasn't as in-depth. Like, so I know, like, Artemis and Isis and Ishtar are all interrelated moon goddesses, but I don't know the exact depth of it as much. So,
Alright.
horizontal, vertical.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on death?
Well, I believe in unity, kind of it's kind of paradoxical, so it's hard to explain. So, I'm excited. Imagine, like, every good act you've ever done ever comes back all at once. And then, like, it's so gratifying that you're like, I think it's worth doing it again. And you reincarnate.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the evil acts might catch up with you too?
Evil? I don't know. Like, I just don't think of it like that. Like, when you walk in a room, you turn on the light switch and you fill the room with light. Whenever you leave, you don't turn on another switch for darkness. You just remove the light from the room. So by giving it another name, darkness, rather than what it is, the lack of light, it gives you a separate mindset. It personifies something that isn't real.
So they're only good acts.
Well, you gotta think that everything originally started as a good act, but of course, like, people cling to it and attachments. So imagine like just one good act get misconstrued, or a better example is disharmony of the mind. Like, if you grow up in this tense environment of, tense harmony, then eventually you will manifest accordingly around to normalize. Just like binaural beats, your brain hears two different things and it synchronizes until it's in harmony. And so from that, it is, able to see that this is where mental disorders come from. This is actually where diseases come from more of a spiritual disharmony rather than actual. And even Louis Pasteur, who before he died, he rejected the germ theory that he proposed. He says, I was wrong, and it's not true. Germs do not enter us unless we allow them to enter us. But by then, we were like, oh, germs, gonna get them. And the war on germs started by then.
All right. Interesting things and theories and...
Yeah, it's very paradoxical. It's the best way I could.
Oh, it's a paradox.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Your favorite food?
Right now, I guess rice. I like rice.
Like rice?
Yeah, just for now.
White rice?
Yeah, some butter.
Alright.
That's like a neutral food for Buddhists. I'm so glad.
It's a good food, I mean, it's like, it's vegetarian, but it still has plenty of nutrients. Protein. Tell me about the last dream you had that you can remember.
Last night, I dreamt of a woman named Aga, whom I'm good friends with. I believe you met her.
The right chick?
Mm-hmm.
Is she Russian? I'm trying to figure out her accent.
Polish.
Polish.
Yeah,
Polish.
but I dreamt of her.
Aw. You want to go in deeper, or you just like dreamt of her?
Yeah, we lived together and we did art and music every day together, blah, blah, blah. And that was it. Nothing spectacular, but I liked it.
Do you want to live with her?
It'd be nice. I wouldn't mind it.
Alright. Where do you think the dream came from?
No idea. Like, but my subconscious is weird, so I'm not even worried about it. Every time I dream, I am always in these crazy situations, but I never panic. I'm always calm, and I always take care of it, like, no matter what it be. Like, I'll be lost at sea on a fucking raft, and a shark attacks, and I'll just kill the shark, and that's done. And then the battleship comes, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna deal with this, and I wake up. Or I'll, be just chilling, Satan comes up and starts harassing me, and I literally, like, push Satan down a flight of stairs, and I'm just so chill about everything. Like, literally, this has happened to me, like, right? That is weird.
That's funny. Satan that vanquished thee with stairs.
Yeah. Like
Go back to hell.
Or, like, there'll be, like, one of my spirit animals, like a lion. As soon as I see it, walk up and I pet it. No fear whatsoever. I've had Mexican shootouts, giant blob monsters, and just always I don't know.
Interesting. Very interesting. Do you ever have nightmares?
I had one nightmare, but it was only sad because it was surreal, and it was about my ex-girlfriend. It was basically how, like, I ruined the relationship by sucking the fun out of it. But the whole thing about it is, after we broke up, it was a very smooth break, but someone told me that she gone a little crazy, And in the dream, she was really crazy, and I felt responsible, so it felt horrible.
Mm. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but I also have good dreams, like prophecy dreams. I had this dream of a party that lasted 3 days, and I met a woman there. Then I woke up. There was an invite on Facebook, but she got the date wrong, and it lasted 3 days. So I go to it, and I meet a woman there, and, so it's never what I expect.
Yeah, right on, man. Interesting.
Believe in your dreams.
Yeah. I want to.
I'm in this intro to Buddhism class. Buddha only slept 1 hour.
Well, I didn't do much else.
No, he did a shit ton, nonstop. Because he reached enlightenment, and then he'd be alive 45 years later. So imagine only sleeping 1 hour for 45 years, and all the rest he's traveling around the world and meditating, except for the summers.
Interesting.
Yeah, right? If you're into that.
Sleeping 1 hour a day. I wish I could sleep 1 hour a day, though. Fuck. Interesting. Socrates and Buddha are supposed to be alive at the same time.
Really?
Yeah.
Ha. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love.
That's interesting.
I love Plato. I always use his cave parable.
For what? What you use it for?
It's just well, I use it a little differently. Like whenever people ask, like if you never experienced mushrooms, like people ask, what's it like? Like it's kind of like if you've never had sex, how could I describe sex?
Yeah.
Good. Like, some people dedicate their whole lives to sex, and you want me to just say good? Like.
Interesting. Do you have any sexual fetishes?
No.
No.
Let me think. I like when women orgasm. Is that a fetish?
I guess so. I mean, I'll take it. Alright. You could kill one person, who would it be?
The only thing that comes to mind is one of those people who are like, this psychological question of, if someone's in so much pain, would you be allowed to let them kill themselves? And I'd be like, I would just kill one of those guys because they already want to die, and
All right, that's a good cop out. I'm just kidding. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Your favorite dish, food? Oh yeah, never mind. Just ask that rice.
Well, like being more specific.
No, you say rice. I forgot to ask it.
Shit, I guess chicken and dumplings from Olive Garden.
All right.
That sounds delicious right now. With some garlic sticks.
All right. All right. I think I got. No.